My name is Eric Hayden. I'm the warning coordination meteorologist here at the National Weather Service in Newport, really the liaison between the community and the Weather Service. And today we're going to talk about hurricane preparedness. Hurricane season is very long here in eastern North Carolina. Officially it starts June 1st, but we've had storms as early as May, right into the months of October. A lot of people ask us about the hurricane outlook for the year. It is interesting to follow, but we really want to shift that focus from what does the outlook say to preparedness throughout the year. It only takes one storm to make a difference in our lives. We could have a very inactive year overall statistically, but if we get that one big storm, it's going to make a difference in our lives. So we really want to talk about preparedness regardless of what the actual outlook says. The first step for hurricane preparedness is really knowing your risk with not only wind, but especially water. Do you live in a low-lying area? Are you susceptible to storm surge? Have you been flooded in the past? Knowing your risk level is very, very important. And that also takes into account your family, any health concerns. Do you have pets, young kids? Taking in that whole aspect of what you have to prepare for. You might not easily be able to be up and move and evacuate. So you need to take into those accounts. So really knowing your risk is the first step in hurricane preparedness planning. Now that you've identified the risk, the next thing you want to work on is your kit, your hurricane kit. You want to be able to shelter in place. Traditionally, we would say have at least, bare minimum, 3 days of food, water, and medicine. Really pushing people more towards 7 days. What we saw with Florence, it may be a while until you get out, it may be a while until anybody can come and help you. So if you plan to stay put, you want to be able to shelter in place and have everything you need. And include everybody in your family. So if you have pets, make sure they have food for multiple days. If you have somebody that needs medicine, don't forget about that. If you have young children, diapers, baby formula, everybody included for that kit. Again, bare minimum 3 days, really pushing to 7 days if you can do it. We understand not everybody can go out today and get an entire kit. We live in different financial times. We really want to stress to people to spread it out. Don't wait and do it all this weekend. Get your bottled water this weekend, wait a few weekends, get your canned goods. By spreading it out, it will ensure that it actually happens and it also spreads out that financial impact. Now that you have your kit ready, you also want to have a plan to evacuate. Do you live in a vulnerable area to water? Are you in an evacuation zone? You should really have multiple places to go. And what I mean by that is we like to have a plan A and a plan B. Your plan A might be farther to the north up toward Maryland or Washington, D.C. area. Your plan B might be down towards South Carolina. You want to go opposite of the storm. You can't just go inland to Kinston or Raleigh. Sometimes you can, especially if the storm is off the coast, but other times they have just as bad impacts multiple hours inland as we do at the coast. So you want to have multiple places to go, maybe a northern and southern route, maybe to the mountains. You just want to be away from the storm itself. The last thing I want to talk about is after the storm, or if you decide to stay in the area. About half of our deaths recently have occurred after the landfall of the storm. Things like carbon monoxide poisoning. If you have that generator, know how to use it. Don't put it inside. You don't want to use it in an enclosed place like a garage. If you decide to leave and then you come back, respect roads that are closed. Do not cross flooded roads. Don't go around barricades. And then when you're trying to do repairs on your home, ladder safety, tree safety, things like that. You do not want to do all this preparation and then let your guard down after the storm is already over with. One of the really important aspects for hurricane preparedness beyond making the kit and having evacuation zones is just understanding the forecast. There's a lot of great information out there. Any of the local broadcasters in our area, our website, weather.gov/Morehead City, an excellent resource. So there's plenty of good information out there. We really want to make sure you're following those trusted sources. Local broadcast media, our National Weather Service here in Newport, or the National Hurricane Center. 2 websites to remember, weather.gov, click on Eastern North Carolina, or you can add /Morehead City, or hurricanes.gov. That is the National Hurricane Center page. One thing I want to mention is we do issue products to alert you of these type of weather conditions. Hurricane watches and warnings. A watch means conditions are possible. A warning means we expect it to happen. We also issue products like storm surge watches and warnings. That's for coastal flooding up to 3 feet or greater above dry ground. Those are areas that could be inundated with water. And the last thing I want to talk about that everybody has seen before is the forecast cone. It shows where the storm is actually going to go. That only shows where the actual center of the storm will go. It does not show all of the impacts. We all know that a hurricane is not a dot on the map. If we're anywhere close to that cone, you should be paying attention. It's not a, I'm in the cone, I should worry. Oh, now I'm out of it, I don't have to worry about it. If that forecast cone is anywhere along the East Coast, here in Eastern North Carolina and Morehead City and Carteret County, we should be paying attention. More than likely, you're going to know a hurricane's coming. There's plenty of information out there, but one thing we want to reiterate with any type of warnings from the Weather Service is to have multiple ways to get those warnings. Hurricane warnings, storm surge warnings, and watches, those are going to come on your phone. You're going to get those automatically. You should have a NOAA weather radio that's battery powered. That will give you alerts during the storm itself when the actual power potentially could go out. The other reason why I want to mention this, if you decide to shelter in place, you've got plenty of food, water, and medicine for 7 days, you're in a safe location, we still can get other things like tornadoes that can produce enhanced areas of damage. So you're not out shopping, you're sheltered in place, you're where you should be, but your phone will go off, your weather radio will go off and alert you that, hey, I need to get downstairs in the center of the home. We have potentially more damage coming with the tornado. One of the most important aspects of hurricane preparedness beyond the kit, your evacuation routes, and also knowing where to go for those evacuation routes, and also just your vulnerability is knowing that the category of the storm is only focused on wind. A lot of folks say, I'm not gonna leave unless it's at least a 2 or 3. A category scale is to be respected, but it only focuses on wind. Anybody that was here during Florence, that was just a 1. Anybody was here in 2011 during Irene, that was just a 1. It's to be respected. It tells us how bad the wind will be, but it says nothing about the storm surge, how much rain we might have, how long the storm is going to sit over us, or even what side of the storm we get hit on. So we really want people to focus on all of the impacts with the storm. Yes, wind is a factor, but flooding, storm surge, tornadoes like we saw with Dorian and Emerald Isle, and then also rip currents.